Yes, so welcome back to the HMO podcast episode 4. If you're in episode 4 by now, then you definitely love the show. If you have not caught up with the other episodes, they're on my Spotify page. You can listen through episode 1 to 3 and even 4 now. And if you're a new listener, I really like to say welcome. I hope you enjoy it. So far, I'm having a blast making it. I hope you guys are having as much fun listening to it. And I appreciate you guys for liking, sharing. I'm always dropping links and a lot of you do your best to share. I really appreciate you guys for that. Once again, welcome to the HMO podcast. So like Pleo, I just opened my Anchor app and I saw that it was celebrating milestone listen. I had 100 listens at the time. 100, like I never expected that at this point I'll have 100 listens. Like 100 people will actually come down to listen to what I have to say. Man, this is not easy at all. Like I didn't expect it. So I really want to thank everyone who shared, who has listened to it. Some people have listened to it more than once. People who are always giving me advice on how to get better. I really appreciate you guys. To those who share my links, to those who give me advice on how to share my links, man, you guys are really awesome. So thank you very much. So this week, I checked on Twitter and I saw that Rico Suave lost his life. For those who don't know him, he was a Big Brother housemate at the time when Big Brother was still a good show. That was BBN. He was one of the dope housemates and he seemed very cool. I even heard that I think he kind of stayed in jail at a point. So I heard he was in an accident and after 3 days he lost his life. So I wish he rests in peace and condolences to his family and friends at this point. So I talked about leaving camp with a heavy heart and tears in my eyes. I wish it was a joke. But anyway, I had my glasses on and people could not see the pain that was behind my eyes. And I was seeing like my mates, my friends who had ended up in the same local government, hugging each other, planning their route. And it was just me. And the NCCF guy told me, they had a vehicle that was going to Otta. And I said, okay, nice. So I found my way there. The vehicle was cheaper. And 3 hours later, I was in Otta. Now, the first thing that struck me about the place was it was so dusty. Like, the fog. Like, this is some biblical Israelite shit. Like, why is this place so dusty? And then the next thing was the roads were so bad. It felt like people dug wells on the road and abandoned it. Like, it was so bad. And I also found out later that the weather changed quickly. I think in Otta, it rained every month of the year during my service. Yes, it rained at least once a month every year, which was very strange for me. Anyways, I got to the NCCF house and they were welcoming, and although I didn't feel comfortable because I don't feel comfortable sleeping anywhere that is not my house, number one. And then the second thing was because it was a Christian family house, I felt they were going to be uptight about so many things. Don't get me wrong, they were very wonderful, they were welcoming. It was nice having a place over my head to sleep, especially since I didn't know anywhere, and to start locating everywhere that day was already late. Some guys were like, fuck this shit, they cannot stay here. They took their bags and went to find hotels. Thank God I did not follow them. Sapa for finish my life that month. As I said, your first alawi, don't spend it on nonsense. It will save your life. Anyways, so I remember speaking to my dad that evening and I was telling him how I did not expect to be sent to Otta. I remember this strong feeling of wanting to cry. It was strange because, for somebody that has not cried in how many years, and then that feeling of loneliness, oh my God. And I was also sick. I knew that if I had continued speaking on the phone, I'll probably burst into tears. And I will soon find out that was a very normal thing. I spoke to a lot of toppers and I've heard of people who actually cried. Someone in particular, his own stood out for me. He told me he was calling one of the girls he was friends with from camp, and she was telling him it will be fine and all that, and he actually busted into tears. Like, this guy was a hard guy, like somebody that you'd be like, this guy probably fights cows for a living or something, and the guy is telling how he busted into tears. Man, that was really funny. So nothing really prepares you mentally for the loneliness you feel for when you leave camp. So anyway, NCCF house was nice. There were boys and girls from big halls. There were wonderful people I met there. Now, they offered accommodation. You have, I think, a 3-day free period. They offer accommodation after some time. I think for a small payment. It's not so expensive, sha. And it also comes with feeding. Although you guys cook in tons, I think I cooked once in the house. And unfortunately for me, it was beans were eaten that day. I did not sleep. Coupled with the fact that they wake you up by 4:30 every morning. And then before you sleep, you still do that night prayers. God. Like, you just left camp thinking you are going to die from sleep. Like, you won't sleep for 3 days after the sleep deprivation. Waking up by 4:30 every day, sleeping around 12. And you just want to sleep. And then these guys are waking you up for prayer. It's so annoying. But they have made it clear that if you don't like their rules, you are free to leave. And since you don't have any way, you have no choice. Although it got to the point where many of us started dodging. In fact, they noticed it. They had to come and speak us. Very good time. So that was one of the things I noticed about the house. Those their prayers, and there were some special prayers. Anyways, it was not just my setting. It was not just my thing. Now there are some rules that you had to follow. Like, one of them was not wearing slippers in the chapel, which was understandable. They had a list, but two stood out for me. Number one, they said no wearing of shorts and sleeveless in the house. I did not understand that, because who is getting turned on by shorts and sleeveless? Like, if you do, you have a serious problem. I'm not even kidding. Anyway, the second rule was no dating someone in the house. I didn't understand that. Isn't NYC where you come to find your future wife and all that bullshit? So I'm surprised people are now saying you should not date each other. So I should go and date child of the world. Anyway, those rules they were just so clear to me that I could not stay in the house. And anyway, they offered a place to stay while I was sorting out my posting situation. But at least they were wonderful enough to help us locate our PPAs where we're posted and how much it was going to cost. Now, the following day, I remember leaving after I've been told the cost of transportation from our place to the local government, which was about 150. Now, coming from Jos, 150 is a lot of money for transportation to anywhere. Jos is not so expensive that you spend 150 going to far distances like that, unless on special occasions or special reasons. But here it's a very normal time. That thing was bike. They like to put two people on bike, two random people. That was very strange for me. So I didn't like to climb bikes unless it's absolutely necessary. So I got to the junction, I remember, and I asked this keke man, I was going to the place, how much was it? The place that they just told me was 150, and this guy looked at me, I was like, because it's you, copper, is 500. 500k. And as I also find out, they like to cheat coppers there. This was also another strange thing for me, because coming from Plateau State, I've seen how they treat coppers. Coppers get free rides, you get free food, like, you get to meet wonderful people. I mean, because of the insecurity now, it's a little more difficult. You can't trust people offering you free rides, but it was something that happened. But here, I'm seeing that people I remember my first day in Ota, a journey that, as I will soon find out, will cost about 500 naira. I spent 3,000 naira, because these guys, once they just see you, they know how they will take you on their vehicle, and because they know you don't know anywhere, they will just turn you and tell you, this is the price. And Yoruba people are very aggressive. And one of the best things I also experienced was beggars. Now in Jos, whenever you see a beggar, you can tell that guy is a fucking beggar or that lady is a beggar, because they look like beggars. But in the West, beggars will even dress nicer than you. And I remember, I think that first day after I had spent 3k on transportation, I was so broke. I just had the money that was going to take me back to the NCCF house. And these two boys approached me and they said, Copper, give us money and stuff. I told them, sorry, please, I would have loved to give you, but I don't have. The next thing that they did surprise me. They just started to fire insults at me. Oh my God. I did not expect this. Like, I've never expected this. I'm used to Amajiris. Amajiris, if you ignore them, they will leave you alone. All this behavior. But this one started to insult me and said I was very, very stingy. Oh boy, on top me and my money. That opened my eyes to a lot. Like, once somebody talks to you, in fact, you don't pay them any mind. Like, just dodge, just leave. And it builds one kind of anger and, one kind of attitude in you. I guess that's the Yoruba way that they keep talking about, Sha. But that was one of the strange things I noticed about the place. Now, about my posting, I remember going to the first school I was posted. As I mentioned, they made mistake on my course, so I was posted to a school. Now, as I got to the school, I explained to the lady that straight up I wanted to leave because I didn't want to stay in Ota. And she was kind enough to understand. But before then, she saw my course, industrial chemistry, and she's thanking God. You must be able to take maths, further maths, biology, physics, chemistry. Kuku asked me if I can perform open heart surgery. Like, it doesn't make any sense now, because once they see certain type of courses on your course form, on your NYC posting, and you come to a school, they expect you can take all the science subjects. It's people that study engineering, chemistry, microbiology, things like that. They expect you can take all the science subjects, and they want to kill you for maybe 80,000 naira. But anyway, the woman was understanding, and she offered me rejection. So I went back to secretariat. And when they realized the mistake, they told me I should look for a posting anywhere I wanted to work. And thankfully, Otta had a lot of industries. But here was the issue. The batch in which we're sent was the batch that was very unlucky because it has already been filled. So if you are going for service and you have the option, you can choose to go for batch A or batch C. Those are the best batches. But if you are going batch B stream 2, getting postings are very difficult. Like good postings. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. So I remember I opened the catalog of industries and I started to call. That day I must have made almost 50 calls. I remember this particular one, this Indian man picked, and I was like, hello, I'm a copper from so I study industrial chemistry. I was just calling to find out if there was a post in your company. And this man went all Shah Rukh Khan on me. Like, this guy went all around shoulders. Hello, who is this? How did you get my number? You stupid. Baba, I'm just calling. How will Indians be insulting me in my country like this? Oh my god, that guy went to town on me. Anyways, I went back home defeated. And it was just really, really sad. Like, I just wanted to leave. But I remember that coppers, usually in schools, we get posting and you get accommodation, and also Banky W in his movie Up North, which I keep references. You get accommodation and you probably get feeding. So I started to look for good schools. I remember one school in particular was asking me to come with X-ray, my national identification, my thumbprint. Kuku asked for my certificate of life or something. Like, I don't understand. As if they're trying to steal my identity. I applied for a lot of schools, but the easiest ones that were close to me, I remember I had two options. Now, I picked one of the schools because on their site, they had such exciting things on their website. Loriro. And their HR was just such a nice person. Like, she was so nice. That woman was so nice. Like, they don't. If she was running like a kidnapping ring, she should be the face of the operation because that woman was so nice. Anyway, I selected this school. I also remember I got this other posting to a school. I noticed something was up when I saw that the school did not have a website. They had a dope name though, but no website. As I went to the school, it looked like where they kept kidnapped victims, and I knew there was no fucking way I was staying here. So I finally accepted my school, and I remember that first day they gave me one dingy room. The room had one window and it was not painted, and it was inside the hostel. Oh my god. And I saw the room, I was like, oh god, what the fuck. But I thought anyway I'll just stay here for a while and get another place to work. But yeah, I left. As I came back, man, it didn't get any better because you are staying in a hostel with Ajibo children who, when there's no water, they don't like to flush, and then the toilet was near my room. Oh god, I could go into details into that, but let's just say the accommodation was not nice. And then because I was also not used to the weather, the room could get extremely hot. Like, extremely hot, man. Oh god. It was not funny at all. Anyway, that was it about my room, man. I really learned a lot in the school I was posted. Like, I learned a lot of valuable life lessons. I met a lot of teachers, and thankfully I was able to teach a few subjects. Also wonderful students. Like, I also met evil bosses. Like, there's always, or should I say, there are always those people who don't really have any power, but because they have the oga's attention, they like to oppress other people. I met their type there. Very, very useless people. I remember these incidents when the boss of the school, which was the son of the owner, he gave a speech about how he knew the school standards were falling and he understands if any staff wants to leave. And he said if anybody wants to leave, they should raise their hand. And some people raised their hand. Almost my guy sacked all of them. Man, that one was really, really evil. Anyways, they made me and the other couple that were there, they made us do so much work. Like, they gave us so much work. And I remember our money was deducted once, and then another month we were not even paid entirely because the man claimed we did not work. Like, I just got a lot of life experience in that place. It was just hell, honestly. And as I tried living, as I said, the batch in which I came was not a great batch, so it was very difficult getting. But I remember me and my friend walking through their industrial estate, and we got rejected by like 40 companies that day. Like, I've never been rejected so much in my life, but such is life. Now, Otta, I would say Otta was a bad place, honestly. Otta was a decent place. It's not the greatest place for a copper because, for one thing, the cost of living, not just Otta, the West as a whole, the cost of living is kind of high, especially when you're coming from the North. The cost of living was high. I remember there was this tablet I had to use, and where I'm coming from, they sell a tablet at 2 naira per tablet. In where I was, or should I say where I was serving, they were selling 10 naira per tablet. You can imagine the difference, 8 naira difference. And that was just like a little example. There are so many things, like, so your alawi could not go far, and people don't know that your alawi is not going far. You are there suffering, fighting for your life, seeing shege on a daily, and somebody is telling you, omo, I beg, I fit see urgent 3k, even God safe, because 3k out of your 33k is 10%. Even God, that's the same thing he's asking for. You want to be dragging the space of God in my life? No, it cannot work now. So in Otta, you're basically dragging or fighting for everything with Yahoo boys, because Yahoo boys don't drag, and there are plenty in Abeokuta and Otta and Ogun states, the West generally. Yoruba people are smart, and since there are no jobs, they have started to use the knowledge for that sense. So those things affect the cost of living there. Like, it was just really, really difficult. Like, there were bad moments during the service. So I can't really say there were like great moments during the service, but there were a lot of bad moments. Shit. I remember this particular one. The phone I was using fell from my khaki pocket to the road. It was Jesus Christ. Like, it fell face down on the road. I was just lucky that vehicle did not climb it. You can imagine. And as I found out, they were not making the parts anymore, so I had to buy the screen from a black market person. I think I spent double the original price on buying that screen. It was a really terrible period. My hard drive, like, there were so many bad things that happened, that I would say a lot of things that could have happened. The only bad thing that I would say could have happened that did not happen was that I did not die. Like, I really saw Shege. I knew what it meant. Like, at this adulting thing, a scam. On God, a scam. But yeah, I would say all in all, I gained a lot of valuable experience during service, and I won't say I regret going, but honestly, if federal government had just agreed to give us the money, to start up in life, rather than making us suffer for a period of 1 year, I would have really taken that. Anyways, the next thing is your family during service. Your family during service will be your CDS. I chose drug-free CDS because it kind of aligned with my course, and it was fun. I met a lot of dope people, like a lot of dope people. Man, like, they were really dope people. But if you take my advice, go and join something like culture and tourism, a group where they just chill all the time and have fun. Those are the best groups of CDS. Anyway, me and my friend ran for CDS positions because we wanted it as a position to meet more people, especially beautiful ladies. We didn't know the stress of the position. We didn't end up meeting the beautiful ladies the way we expected it to happen. But all in all, it was fun, sha. And then POP, collect your certificate and get the fuck out, because apparently they said they found a Boko Haram leader or something in Abeokuta at the time, so they didn't want to waste our time with POP. So we got the rubbish POP. People never even played drum or anything. We just went, collected our certificate, took pictures, and got the fuck out. All in all, I would say service was rubbish. And asked a question in one of the first episodes: do you think NYSC should be scrapped? If you think NYSC should be scrapped, I'll be asking the question again. You can let me know in future episodes. Yes, this has been the HMO podcast episode 4. I hope you guys are having as much fun listening to it as I'm having as much fun making it. I thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, for clicking the link. It's not easy. And as I mentioned, 100 listens. Okay, no, it's actually more than 100 listens now. Yeah. So I'm really, really thankful. To imagine that my podcast has been played at that number of times. Wow, it's really, really awesome. So thank you to everyone who has listened. if you like the music, yes, I know you noticed that I'm no more using pornography music. Yeah, so these music were made by Shekina Keyboardist and Donny, two of the very, very dope music producers that I know. So if you're a musician, please definitely check them out. And if you're not a musician, you can also just, check them out. I might be dropping their links in the description. Yeah. So definitely check them out. Thank you to you guys for letting me use your music. And yeah, please continue to like, share it, comment, and I think you will enjoy using Spotify better rather than using the Anchor link. So continue to check it out, and hopefully the next episode will be dope. I have to have my friend here, and trust me, you guys don't want to miss out on the next episode. So till then, I hope to catch you guys then. Bye.